The Pesky Report is sponsored by High and Happy Catering out of Springfield, Massachusetts. Their chef, Michael Best, can cook anything you want with or without being infused with cannabis. Check out some of what they make on their Instagram at High and Happy Catering or call them at 413-785-8999. You'll be happy you did.
Welcome to the Pesky Report, a podcast for Red Sox fans.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon Brewer, and I am filling in for Brad Chandler because he's out at the ballpark tonight. This is episode 133 of the Pesky Report, presented by Belly Up Sports Media. Joining me tonight, I have the incredulous Doink and the Iowa Enigma Hogdale. Doink, I know you're not normally on our Sunday broadcast, but I tend to give everybody good superlatives at the beginning of each episode. So
I love it.
I forgot about it until I was midway through my rant, and I just had to come up with something.
I like that.
Fly,
Incredulous is cool.
Okay, so how are you guys doing tonight? Yeah, cool story.
Yeah,
cool story.
Doing okay. Bro. I don't know. I got my little backstory. I've got my Pete Rose shirt on, which showed up in the mail today.
Love it, by the way.
And it felt a little too timely because I lost a bunch of money on the Yankees-Angels game today.
Nah, fuck.
and then I come home from work and this was at my door, and I was like, God, yeah. My shirt says I'm a lot like Pete Rose, and I was like, damn.
Damn.
I mean, you lost a lot of money. You get a Pete Rose shirt. It kind of goes hand in hand. I get it.
It wasn't a lot of money. It was. Listen, when Shohei Ohtani and Nestor Cortez that's your pitching matchup, you put $20 for there to be no runs in the first inning. That should be
that should be a safe bet.
A cool free $30.
That should
fucking
check
Matt
out.
Carpenter didn't let that happen. He decided to hit a solo jack. Like, I didn't know that Matt Carpenter could still hit second deck home runs. Granted, it's Yankee Stadium, but that dude's hit like 3 home runs since going to the Yankees, and I think that needs to be investigated.
Yeah, their cheating lab is a lot better than ours.
Did they hire anyone from the Rays recently?
Yeah, they had to have them or
in
the
off season,
because they have those two have the best cheating labs in the league undisputably.
God damn, that shouldn't be happening.
And they teed off on Shohei today. He ended up with only 3 innings pitched.
It was bad.
Gave up 3 bombs and only had 2 strikeouts.
Pretty.
not a pretty performance at all. But I figured you guys would be a little bit more amped because the Boston Red Sox are officially undefeated in the month of June.
Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't realize. Good job, team. We did it.
How long has it been since the Boston Red Sox have been undefeated over the course of any month?
1-0, baby. Let's go.
Hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
West Coast road trip coming up. We need that little bit of momentum going into it. And I think, all things considered in May, it was a good month for the club. They rallied, they got hot. They showed that they can throw up some runs. They showed that the pitching can still perform when we're throwing up those runs. And I hope I think that they're going to be able to segue that into a hot month of June. What do you guys think about going forward with these Boston Red Sox?
I feel pretty good about them. I mean, it's nice that the hitting this last month showed that they are, in fact, who we thought they were, which is one of the 5 best offenses in baseball. I mean, we went from like bottom 5 in the league in runs after April to, I believe, top top 5, and we were leading at one point in the league in runs. So pretty good sign. The pitching is showing a bit of regression to the mean in some sorts, but other guys are starting to regress in the positive way, like, Nick Pavetta. Michael Wacha isn't, the greatest pitcher on planet Earth like he was in April, but who was expecting him to stay like that for the longest amount of time? The only really issue that's been constant over the first 2 months of the year is that need for back-end bullpen help. So I hope we get that sorted out sometime soon.
I think June is going to be a key month to figure out whether or not we're going to get that sorted out, because Mr. Heim said in a little interview, he was like, oh, he was super vague about it, but he seemed like, that he understands what his job is. And he knows that if we can pull ourselves into a contending position, he will spend and fix the bullpen. But if we can't get over that threshold by the end of June, then probably not. But I think that this team is super capable of it, considering we've had I feel like the amount of 10-run games we've had in the month of May it was more than enough needed to be a fluke, that wasn't a fluky amount of 10-run games. That was this team can play small ball and have 6-run innings regularly if they want to.
It's insane how good this offense is when it's literally more than just Raffy, Xander, and JD showing up. It's crazy what happens.
When the back end of the lineup is scoring 5 runs in 2 innings, God.
It's not even the back end. If it's 2 of the mix of Kike, Story, and Verdugo, 2 of those 3, if they're clicking along with Raffy, JD, Xander, then you're rolling.
Christian Vazquez.
He's having a bounce back here.
Torching it up right now, which is sure, keep making me eat my own words. They're absolutely delicious.
Yeah, Christian had a rough year last year, and it came out that he had a shoulder injury, and that sounds like what caused a lot of it, including his struggles last year throwing dudes out, which is something he never struggled with before. And you could tell that, that injury was clearly making a difference, because he's playing a lot better this year.
Yeah, still a little bit of a noodle arm, but...
Brandon, do you want to get a word in? Feels like we're just talking over you.
Oh no, I am enjoying
it in.
I am enjoying the conversation right now, because I agree with everything that you guys are talking about. Doink, you made the point earlier about scoring 10+ runs a game, but unfortunately, with that back end of the bullpen, you almost need those 10 runs to ensure that you're going to be able to hold on to a lead. So if they're throwing up 7, 8, 9, 10 runs a game, then I'm good with it, because they're going to be able to win a lot of these games. The problem is on the the Tuesday night game, when it was 2-1, the offense didn't come alive. The pitching was pretty good for the most part. Yeah, the Reds ended up with 8 hits somehow. We were talking about that before we came online. It didn't seem like that was even a thing, but it was. They had 8 hits in the ball game, but only scored 2 runs. That's a game where, and this is something we've seen all season long, where the Red Sox offense just didn't do their job that night. The Reds easily should have been swept. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess 2 of those 8 hits that I remember are from Mr. Mike Trout, who that game could have been.
Mike Trout, hello, ma'am.
Oh no, Mike Trout. Oh my God, wow. I'm thinking about next. Wow, watching that Yankees game today clearly messed me up, because Joey Votto, not Mike Trout.
No, the same
God damn.
The other former
that Yankees
MVP
game traumatized me. That Yankees game truly traumatized me today. Joey Votto narrowly had a 2 home run game.
Man.
Quick off topic. My favorite Joey Votto story is every single time he goes to St. Louis, he makes sure that he hails a cab and then tells the cab driver, I beat Albert Pujols for MVP one year. Love it. That's a true story. He does that every single time he goes to St. Louis.
Petty King.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That's so good.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
I think the statistic came out after this game that he missed 2 home runs by a total of about 3 inches.
That's
Yeah,
rough.
that's
buddy.
It was like
insane.
3.5 inches, I think.
That
It's
is insane.
That's really
Fenway
rough for them.
Park, you beautiful bastard. I love you so much.
Such a dumb ballpark, but it's
I
our
love
dumb
when it
ballpark.
when it fucks with us. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like the house that we built. But when it fucks with other people, like I still think about that ball that went off Hunter Renfroe's foot last year. And like we had to pull up that ancient rule that no one's ever, like the bounding ball rule. I love the bounding ball rule. It's great.
I love how immediately after that, people on Twitter were like, "Oh yeah, I knew that."
I love the bounding ball
Yeah.
rule. Everyone's favorite.
Speaking of Renfroe, can we talk about like just overall this year, like how nice the outfield defense has been, like just how consistently good it's been.
I don't get
Like-
nervous at all.
Like any fly ball that gets hit out there, like you're just feeling like, oh yeah, they're gonna grab it. Like just like there's no doubt at all.
Yeah. I mean, Kike is like openly on his Gold Glove center field campaign, and that's
Yeah.
certainly apparent. Like he's been, he's said like in that interview, he was like, "Oh, I can't get, the combo like second base center field or whatever Gold Glove anymore." So he's like, "I'm gonna get a Gold Glove in center field." Godspeed.
And JBJ
I'm
is
here for it.
JBJ, and he's insane.
And JBJ is JBJ.
Like when the weakest link is like Alex Verdugo playing left field, and he plays a good left field. So like that's your weak link in the outfield. Like that's
Mhm.
pretty strong, and
Cool
it
with
bails
that.
out some not great pitching sometimes in the back end of the bullpen. So
Mhm.
like Matt Barnes, like he's been horrific, but he actually could have been even worse.
Ooh, just thinking about this outfield defense in the Coliseum next week. That's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be that's
Big
just
advantage.
gonna there's
They've got miles to run.
no hitters. Like 3 no hitters are coming.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Yeah, that's my bold prediction. 3 no hitters.
Talking about that Renfroe deal, a lot of people still are on Heim's case saying like, "Oh, why'd you bring back JBJ? He sucks, kid." He's been pretty good at the plate too, guys.
He's back at Fenway.
Yeah.
He's back.
I think Carabas tweeted out that JBJ is a better hitter at Fenway than Ted Williams. I
Bold
mean,
take. I respect it.
very, very bold take. I don't necessarily agree with it, but he is good. He is good at Fenway.
He's raking.
Hunter Renfroe is actually having a pretty good season so far. And he's I was checked earlier in the year, him and JBJ had the same amount of WAR, but Renfroe's actually taking the lead now. He's got 1.1 WAR this season. JBJ's a half a win player right now, though, which is better than anyone thought he was going to be coming into the year.
Hunter Renfroe's going to be fine until the playoffs happen.
And
Yeah.
JBJ, he's sitting at a 227 batting average for those people that still think that stat counts.
Fine by me.
Which is good. I'm cool with it. He's a 637 OPS.
Well,
I'm
considering
way
he
into
was-
that.
He was batting like a clean 160 and slugging like 400 last year. It's pretty big improvement. Like it's pretty much usually what Jackie is. He has a random hot streak about twice a year, and then other than that, he's usually pretty bad. But his consistently amazing defense is what makes up for that.
Yeah.
But he's been good this year. Good to see from him.
He had 4 ribbies in that second game against the Reds. I'm
Loved
here
it.
for it.
Loved
just
it.
It seems
Plug
like
him in anytime we're at Fenway for sure.
I mean, yeah, like he's not a bad return at all, and it seems like Bonellis is a stud prospect from what we've seen so far. So
Love
And
that kid.
that's the thing that people don't understand is that deal was more for the minor league depth than it was to bring back JBJ. He
Yeah,
was just
Hamilton
a
is shoving
plug and
too.
play. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
All
like,
for it.
we loved Renfroe last year. He gave us a good year, but like, man, that playoff really soured me on him, dude. Like, he was a fucking no-show.
Not
And, like,
once.
We really,
Didn't show up once.
dude, we needed him so
Except
bad
the
in
bounding
Astros
ball play.
series.
Except the bounding ball
Except
play.
the bounding
That
ball.
was his biggest contribution to that playoff run. Because that kept that game within reach.
That
if I
Astros
recall.
series is gonna haunt me for years, dude. Like we really
That was
pissed it down
bad.
our leg.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, we
not
can
real.
skip on rehashing that series. I think we all have PTSD from it.
It's a simulation.
But JBJ has been a breath of fresh air, and
Yeah.
so is Franchi Cordero since he was called up. I think that was Doink. I believe it was you that said it in our group chat that is the turning point of the season, and It kind of has been.
Well,
Like unironic.
that was during the Orioles series in Baltimore, which definitely was not was not a turning point game
Sure.
play wise. But I think we've talked about Franchi being the vibes king. And like it seems like he is really important in that clubhouse. I think I'm not saying he's responsible for everyone being able to string together hits all of a sudden, but all of them talk really highly of him. So I'm glad that he's just like there now and he's not like going away anytime soon.
Oh, I absolutely think it's because of him. Because some of these other hitters that weren't hitting were like, oh, they're starting to pull people up from the minor leagues. I better start doing something or I'm going to be replaced just like Bobby got replaced.
I'm cool with like the Franchi Bobby platoon for like a considerable amount of time. Like I can ride with that for a bit longer.
I mean, it's only
I'm
about a
cool
year
with it.
longer before we get Cassis, so
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I'm cool with it for this season for sure. What did you guys think about Franchi in the leadoff spot yesterday? That was a little bit wild. Doink loved it.
I loved it, but he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I still loved just good move on Cora to even try it.
I'm not mad at the thought of trying it because he has been good. He has been getting on base so much more this season than he did last season. He's got an OPS of 728 right now, which is huge. Why not throw him in the leadoff spot? The thing is I think it changed his mentality a little bit, thinking that he had to go up there and get hits. And as a result, he struck out 3 times.
And also he was facing Hunter Green.
Which throws an easy
which
100
is
miles per hour.
Probably not the
many,
person you want to be leading off against because you're not going to see anything of value.
That's a good point.
There's
cannot
like 3
get
dudes in the entire sport who have like the stuff that he does.
That dude's crazy.
The dude's throwing 101 casually. It's just what he does.
Like I tweeted it during the game. I was like, is his plan just to get Tommy John every 3 years and just like be Bionicle Man who can just do that until his arm falls off? That's a great plan.
Because this is what Aroldis Chapman like did when he came up, except he couldn't be a starter because his control wasn't there. Hunter Green has it.
I want Hunter Green to be our closer so bad.
8 strikeouts, no walks, only lasted 3.2 or 3 2/3 innings. That's kind of a damper
be our
on him,
closer, buddy. Oh my god.
He just needs a few more small tweaks, and he's going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Lights out, yeah.
It's
like,
insane.
if he can stay healthy, to Doink's point. You know, guys that throw like that tend to not last for so long.
The arm kind of explodes, you know.
I like added him on my fantasy team during the 2nd inning last night, and then he only went like 4 innings, and then I dropped him.
Rip. Oh, my fantasy team.
I was like, actually, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
I forgot to set my lineup, so I fucking missed out on Garrett Whitlock going, 6 innings. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't miss out on a single strikeout.
Let's talk about how that was a little weird.
So Garrett Whitlock, he went 6 innings. He got the win, which was good for fantasy owners, but he did not record a single strikeout. Only had 3 swing and misses the entire game.
That's so weird.
I can't say I'm not concerned. It's an interesting strategy, but he was getting hit hard. He had 11 hard hit balls against the Cincinnati Reds. That's too many hard hit balls for that lineup. He was really nonchalant about it in his post game. He was like, "Oh, I'm just like, obviously I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing," but he seemed to like pitching that way. He was like, "I was really efficient." And I was like, "That's fair. You don't have to worry about throwing all these pitches if you can just get someone to ground into a double play 3 times."
And that was the thing, is he had a ton of twin killings, but I kind of like seeing Whitlock go up there and just mow him down, whip it out, and drag it across the other guy's foreheads. That's what I want to see.
The transition is certainly a lot more concerning than you would want it to be. It seems like a bit more than growing pains at this point if it's affecting his entire like way that he pitches a game. I
Yeah,
think
he went
Ugh.
6 innings, so he did get a quality start, if you will. He only gave up 1 run, and it was unearned. So, I mean, he's being efficient.
yeah,
So, I don't know.
it's hard because
it's just weird.
it's a
Looking,
really weird thing to judge. But some people did say that they like thought he looked like he was wincing a couple times. I think if anything, he's got a dead arm and he's trying to like throw as little as possible. And that's why he was just like, yeah, I went out there and I just threw ground ball pitches all night. Which is like, if you need to do that to get through a dead arm phase, fine. Maybe say that. I don't know. Or maybe don't, because then everyone will know what's coming.
Well, I do also know that the Red Sox have the perfect guy in the rotation right now to kind of teach him how to be that pitcher. And that's Rich Hill.
Yes,
Rich
sir.
Hill's still doing the job at 49,000 years old. 44, I think, is he actually age, right?
Yeah.
44.
I would love
He's an
some
old-
confirmation that they're talking about that. That would be
I gotta
great.
say though, like, I mean, if Whitlock's going through dead arm right now and he's still giving you 6 innings, I mean,
A hell of a way to go through a dead arm.
That's pretty good.
I-
Like I'm looking at his Savant page, and yeah, there's a lot more blue than you would expect, especially from him. I mean, and like the most important stuff, like whiff rate, K rate, he's still above average in the league. Elite walk rate, elite fastball velocity, but everything else is like just blue, which is a bit concerning, when looking at the nerd stats. But like, we know his stuff when it's on. We saw it last year. The dude's filthy. So I mean, if he's going through a bout of dead arm, I mean, long season, I'm sure he'll get over it. I believe in him. I mean, I believe in him just as a talent. I mean, the dude puts in the work. I mean,
now
we'll
if
make the
he could
adjustments.
if he could take the mentality and the stuff that he had as a reliever and apply it with the longevity and going deep in games of a starter, then this dude is a surefire ace on any staff out there.
2023 Cy Young.
It's just merging these two things together to make him a complete guy. But I still see people online saying he should be in the bullpen. He should be the closer. What's your take on that?
I think my like hard stance on this is like, I agree with you to an extent, but that's not how it is. And we shouldn't complain about it because I would rather have started this process for him out of necessity pretty much to cover Tanner's ass. That's the reason why he's in the rotation.
It's so true.
Like, that's it. So we had to do that in order to have a 5-man rotation, and we're stretching him out now instead of in the offseason. That's fine.
I mean, they were stretching him out last year.
He can do it.
Like, they were prepping him for this role.
Yeah.
Like, let's not
that was always his destiny. It might be uncomfortable timing, and it's hard to, watch that transition in real time. But that's what we're doing, and it's not that bad. So,
because here's the thing, like Garrett Whitlock, like assuming we get him all stretched out as a starter and he becomes like, a starter from here on out, assuming he can be what we think he can be, like not even like if he lives up to like his peak of what he could be, but like right now he's like what, like a 3.5 ERA starter who's giving you 5 and sometimes even 6 innings every 5 days. What's more valuable, that or a closer? Like, it comes down to that philosophy question, really, because I mean, why are we punishing Garrett Whitlock and his career by putting him as a closer to cover this team's deficiencies, basically based off of management's mistake of not getting a guy like a Kendall Graveman or a Ryan Tepera or any other guy, a Kenley Jansen in the offseason.
Jansen, please.
Kenley Jansen would have been
That's
insane.
all I wanted.
God. But like, obviously, this team needs back end bullpen help. They don't just need a closer. They need a setup man too, because they don't even really have a reliable setup man. So like, yeah, like they need a closer. Like, I'm not denying that at all. Like, not even one bit.
And now we have the news that Matt Barnes has gone to the IL.
So sad that Brady's not here for this.
The Shadow Realm? I call it the Shadow Realm because that's where he got sent.
Well, the reason that Brady's not on the episode is because he jumped with so much enthusiasm that he pulled a muscle in his back, and he needed to take a night off.
Amazing. Love the use of the Phantom IL. And I liked they even sprinkled in a little quote from Matt Barnes where like apparently Matt Barnes was like, "Oh, my back hurts." Or whatever, my arm, whatever they said it was shoulder.
Yeah.
Shoulder inflammation, I believe is what the official cause was.
Whatever, go figure it out.
He'll be DFA'd at the end of it. That's like, you don't put someone on the Phantom IL unless you're gonna get rid of them. Yeah, pretty much. Right?
I mean, this is pretty much like your last like get it the fuck together moment for Matt Barnes. Like, because like genuinely, like we're running out of leash here. Like theoretically, the leash should have been completely gone by now, but
it's kind of like a free trial period for like them to bring anybody up and see if literally anyone is capable of doing slightly better than that. And I feel like that's really easy.
It's really not a high bar.
Josh Winkowski can do that. Like, so that's seems like
I'm trying to think about this in terms of like a normal person job. Like getting demoted from being a closer to being a wash-up guy who comes in only when there is a blowout game. That's kind of like him getting a verbal warning that he needs to figure some stuff out. Then,
he's like if a manager is drinking on the job.
Yeah, right.
Because then they're going to be like, you need to stop drinking. I can smell it.
Put you on the probation period.
Come to work the next week. I don't want to smell the bourbon. And then he still kind of smells like bourbon a little bit.
So you're being sent on a paid leave.
Yeah.
A paid vacation.
Or you get demoted, straight up demoted.
It's really a mandatory sentence to go to alcohol abuse training.
Yeah.
And then if you still don't rectify the situation, then you're out of here, boss.
There you go, Barnesy.
That's your path right now, Matt Barnes. But like you said, Winkowski, he could fill in that role. Schreiber has been fantastic out of the pen. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I'm way high on this guy.
Couple hiccups, but that's like I'm glad to see it. I know you're human.
You're gonna have that, right? Everybody's gonna have hiccups
against the Reds. Great.
I welcome any consistent bullpen arm of I don't care where you come from. Very happy to see it. Schreiber's great.
Love Schreiber.
Schreiber's great. Strom's back now. He's back in the fold, so that he'll be on this road trip coming up. So I think there's enough there that it can be pieced together, but some more help is definitely needed. And I don't want to go down this same thing that we do every single week where we just beat up on the back end of the bullpen. So let's move on from that. We are coming up on a pretty big West Coast road trip, which means a lot of late nights for Red Sox Nation. And that typically means a lot of very funny broadcasts. Not sure how that's going to go this year because Jerry Remy's not going to be a part of the broadcast, obviously. But some of my favorite moments from those West Coast broadcasts are at like 2:00 in the morning when nobody else is watching and Jerry Remy was eating like chocolate covered crickets or something. That is some of the best TV that you can watch anywhere.
I'm definitely going to listen to the A's broadcast. Like anytime I get to hear Dallas Braden call the Sox, that's just beautiful. Love it. He's way more comfortable fucking around with the Red Sox than he is with like a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
So he's always a good time.
Yeah, I think that relationship with Carrabis helps out with that for sure.
Yeah.
Just not listening to OB for a couple games is always
and it's a little nice break. Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about the upcoming pitching matchups against those Oakland Athletics. Hogdale, do you have that pulled up for us?
Yeah, the pitching matchups.
Yep,
got it right here. All right.
Okay,
Yep.
go ahead.
Game one for Red Sox A's got Nady Eovaldi going up against James Caprillion, who is a utter shitter with a 5.93 ERA on the season. He's 0-2, 21
Love
strikeouts.
it.
So, I really enjoy that pitching matchup. Watch the Sox somehow score 2 runs in 9 innings against the worst pitcher out of the 3 by far. But, we move. Second game, Nick Pavetta, who is, been on a heater of late. He's gotten his ERA all the way down to 3.95, considering it was like 3 starts ago. That's pretty insanely good. Going up against Paul Blackburn, who's 5-1 with a 2.15 ERA and 41 strikeouts on the year. Very A's-esque to pull some random asshole no one's ever heard of, and he's a god. What? Hey,
random Say hi to Adam.
Hello.
what's up?
They're recording right now.
Brad, you're such an asshole.
Hey.
He's just popping in from the game. What a guy.
Hey, what?
We didn't even get a score update of the Woo Sox game.
Fucking dick. Oh, my God.
My man just sipped his yard beer. Like,
That was awesome.
like he should have chugged that thing.
Like,
Like,
just like, tasty.
Yes, quite.
My beer bat.
I want to see him chug it.
Yeah,
Like-
right? You gotta like have the beer bat all over it. Just oh,
Brad,
there we go.
let us see him chug the whole thing. If he's gonna drink the
Tell him
beer
to chug
bat,
it.
let him chug
Chug the beer bat.
The beer bat.
Chug it.
chug.
He's not doing it, man.
It's 6-0. Brandon
Hey,
Walton
six.
sucks.
Eh,
I met Tenlin. I think this is
really?
pretty. Meeting Adam from the UK fan club.
Hey,
Oh,
good shit,
yeah.
that's
man.
awesome.
You got Brandon.
Yeah.
Doink. Doink, I got a shirt for you.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Hogdale's coming out to Boston June 15th.
Yep. Be good shit.
Right?
I'm gonna go on to Brady as well.
Yeah, Brady's not on.
Brady's getting a t-shirt as well. It's a big one. Is Brady a big man? Oh, it's not that big.
He's
There
kind
you
of a
go.
fatty.
Brady.
He's not here.
Hey, good shit, man.
Not here. You got Brandon.
Who's Brady? Brady's
Brady?
you decided to give it to Brady or Brandon. It's up to you. Your responsibility. As long as Doink gets the t-shirt, we're happy.
such a
Cool.
so
guy.
generous.
Love that guy.
Good guy.
Good guy.
Anyway, thanks,
All
All
right,
right.
Brad.
Well, we hope you're having fun there, Brad.
Shout out to Brad for torpedoing the podcast. We were on track. One thing I love about this podcast,
Like
we're-
right in the middle of the pitching match.
yeah. One thing I love about this podcast, we're really professional. We really pre-plan everything out. No
was good.
surprises.
Nope.
Buttoned up.
There's never been a moment where we just look back and say, "Well, this show stinks."
Listen, like when I wear my blazer, I button it up. That's all I'm saying. That's what this show represents.
Sue me.
Anyway,
Now, I've got more of an issue with you buttoning up your blazer. How many buttons do you button on that blazer?
I was joking. I don't even own a blazer. Think I have
Okay,
money?
'cause-
You insane?
Because GQ says that you only button the top button on a blazer.
I know,
You let
yeah.
you let the bottom one stay undone.
That's what's fashionable. Yes. Yeah. Shout out to Sox UK though. Glad to see Brad's hanging out with him. He's a good dude.
Yeah, that's
fun.
awesome. That's cool that dude. I guess it's a couple dudes. They flew all the way from London, England.
I love that they're in Worcester, Massachusetts right now.
You sound like
That's
you're
so
from
awesome.
London.
Let's go see the sights, baby. Actually, no, because like the Polar Park is really cool, and I'm really jealous that they're there. I just love the idea of people traveling to Worcester.
100%.
I do too. That's really random.
But they got to go to a like Sox game, so that's cool.
Sox.
I think
Like,
they
I
went to
used-
the Castillo game, which sorry.
I used to live in Leominster, Mass, and we would go to Worcester sometimes, and I always thought that it was a crappy town back then, and now people are traveling from the UK to visit there. It's wild to me. But Pavetta and Blackburn, not a fan of facing this guy because he's the ace of this staff.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is he?
Yeah, right.
That's
Who
the
is this
thing.
man?
Like,
Who are you?
Where's the trigger?
He's thrown 54 and a third innings this year and has 41 strikeouts. He has a .98 whip. Dude's nasty.
That.
Dude is nasty.
I couldn't even tell you what he throws. Genuinely. Like, who is this man?
He throws a lot of pitches, apparently.
He only goes 5-ish. Oh, no, he's been going 6 recently.
Yeah, because you think the A's are trying to burn out their arms? They're trying to trade
That's
the fucker.
true. They're just going to let him go forever, huh?
Good point. They're gonna trade him at the deadline to probably the Yankees.
Like, genuinely.
He
like,
got his last start against the Astros was not great. It was...
This dude is 28. Where did you come from?
Oh, God.
What the fuck? He's not a prospect.
He looks like a Pixar character.
Like in 2019, he was 0-2 in. Well, he only pitched 4 games, but he was 0-2 with a 10.64 ERA. In 2020, he was 0-1 with a 27 ERA. This dude, talk about cheating labs. This dude is definitely the class valedictorian of the cheating lab.
Yeah, we've definitely been underrating the A's cheating lab. It's been there for years. I mean, it's never won anything, which is probably why we underrate it, but it still pumps out good players. So yeah,
sure does.
He throws like everything. This dude throws everything, and it gets so much hard contact. It's crazy.
Okay, so he's probably just gotten lucky this year.
He's throwing a sinker 36% of the time.
Very odd.
Get out of here.
He's one of those guys that he's benefiting from playing and making all of his starts at home, I bet. And all this hard contact in that huge park is being caught for outs, or instead of being home runs, they're doubles against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to tag him. Sox by 12.
His cutter gets fucking diced up, though. So smash that shit. Let's go.
Good shit. All right.
Sox by 12.
Sox by 12. So anyway, game 3. Got Dick Mountain on the bump. 1-3, 4.85 ERA. Not great, but, we move. Against Frankie Montas. 2-5 this year with a 3.20 ERA and 71 strikeouts. He's having himself a pretty good year. Trying to get himself traded out of Oakland. I sympathize. Because who would want to play in that fucking piece of shit place?
You simply never want to face a pitcher that you spent the offseason begging for. You just don't look forward to it. It's just not I'm glad that. Do we play the Cubs this year?
I don't know.
Sure.
Let me check.
I don't want to face Stroman anytime soon because that'll just be, even though he's not doing that great this year.
We sure do in July.
I respect Stroman, but I've been on that I don't like this guy kick because he always destroyed us when he was in Toronto.
Yep.
Would I want him on the Red Sox? Absolutely, I want him on the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But I hate when we have to face this guy. So
It's
chances are in July we'll face him.
It's that, and also when it comes to blocking dudes on Twitter, he's the fastest gun in the West.
The GOAT.
He is pretty quick at it.
He's the fucking Waco kid out here when it comes to blocking people. That's 100% sure.
So Frankie Montas having a 2-5 win-loss record just is another proof that wins as a pitcher is kind of irrelevant.
It's literally the worst stat that you can measure a pitcher's quality by.
It is. It really is. I mean, guys like DeGrom you would look at it and be like, oh, he's pretty average if you just looked at his win-loss, but then you see the rest of his stats and it's like, oh, a little bit above average.
Which is
same with Frankie Montas.
It's a really big bummer considering for the first 70 years of the Cy Young's existence, the award, the winner was the dude with the most wins. What are we doing?
I think the key to that Frankie Montas game is going to be momentum because he's the type of guy that you can only manage to string hits off if you're going into that already on a 2-game win streak or even a 1-game win streak against that team.
That's the plan for this. We're not trying to sweep. We just need to win series. So go out there, win the first 2 games, and then rest everybody in that 3rd game. Let Montas do his thing, and then get ready to move on out, pack it up, go somewhere else, win a couple more ball games. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
The bench might eke one out. Or
there you go.
You never know. I think I think like we have a, we don't really have a chance. I don't want to straight up say that this team doesn't have a chance against Frankie Montas. It's like he still gets hit as much as any other guy at his level does. So if they were on a nice little tear where they're actually hitting the ball and not just a strikeout machine, sure, take a whack at him.
Yeah, maybe May Trevor Story will show up.
Yeah, would really like. He's a little feast or famine, and I would like that to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, in this 7-1 ball game against the Reds, Story had 3 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run. He did walk once and struck out once. So.
He had the losing strikeout.
Yeah, that was in the
That's
first
kind of
game,
like
so.
that one. Oh yeah, that was
those sting. Those sting
Those in the
whenever
first
it's
game.
like bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and it's all on one guy's shoulders.
The end of that game was just particularly awful because it's JD with no outs and runners on second and third. That's
you think walk off city right here.
That's gotta be something more than that. Don't want to think about that anymore. Sorry for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Listen, like Story, he can hit for the same average he did in April as long as he brings like half of like the pop in his bat that he did for May, and he'll be really good as a player the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like that's really all that matters. The major problem from April is he was hitting for no power, like at all. It was all like rinky-dink singles.
Yep.
So I mean, as long as he's hitting for some power, if he walks a decent amount. So I mean, if you're hitting like 220, 300 on base and you've got an OPS around 800, fine with me.
Yeah. Agreed. You get a little spoiled because, he shows you that he can hit 5 home runs in 5 games or whatever. And then it stops for 3 games and you're like, well, what the fuck? It's
Right.
like, no, he spoiled us. It's like he's still capable of it. And you just kind of have to remind yourself of that. Because once they show you, you know that they can do that. So.
And like he's providing like really good defense as well. Like
absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats on there right now, slashing 222, 313 on base, 439 slugging, 752 OPS, which is a OPS plus of 110 this year. So having an OPS of 752 this year is 10% better than the average, which is a bit concerning as to where offense is in the league right now.
Certainly.
But, it's a good deal. I mean, hopefully we just keep seeing good shit from him. I mean, just occasionally hit for power and, just don't not hit a home run for a month.
And then we're golden.
We'll be golden.
I'm looking right now to see if they've announced it, but I don't think they have. But the Player of the Month award for the month of May, have they announced that yet?
No, I don't think so. Players of the Month?
I don't think they have.
I
I
those
see.
will be out the day for the week, I'm pretty sure.
I see,
tomorrow.
everybody on Twitter is saying like so-and-so should be the AL Player of the Month or the Player of the Month for this specific team, but I don't see a league-wide Player of the Month. So that begs the question, if you had a vote, which I know we all do on this podcast, who are you voting for to be the Player of the Month out of the Boston Red Sox players that would be up for that debate?
I know the popular pick is Story, but I'm going with Nick Pavetta.
I was going to say that.
Oh, too bad. I stole your thunder, you absolute dude.
I was like, I'm going to throw a curveball and I'm going to say Nick Pavetta.
Yeah, because Nick Pavetta, like I said, starting the month, his ERA was like a 9.5. It was really, really bad. But he's put together a stretch with like 3 or 4 starts in a row where he's just been amazing, like living up to like
with my life.
What his potential is. Like the Nick Pavetta that we saw in the playoffs last year, we're like, man, this guy is everything. And we got him for pretty much nothing. I mean, he's insane. I mean, Pavetta's been going like 6, 7, 8 innings, like just routinely like it's nothing lately.
It's awesome.
I just loved what I've seen from him. I just hope he can keep it up.
For me, Like, I know a lot of people are probably sitting there thinking it's got to be either Story or it has to be JD, because it seems like JD's on base every time you turn
He
around.
lives there.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to say Rafi Devers is the player of the month. He's another dude that had a solid month, 350-ish batting average for the entire month. He also had 8 home runs in the month of May.
That's so crazy.
He's really
Very
good this
quiet 8 home runs.
That's a lot.
And he's played a fantastic third base this year. I think if we're given most improved defensively on the Red Sox, it's got to be Rafi Devers, right?
Yeah.
Dude, God, Rafi's having
That
an insane
throw
year
was
at the plate
bad,
right now.
But everything else has been good.
Dude, right now he's batting 341, 371 on base, 603 slugging for a 973 OPS, 170 OPS plus. Like, that's a
Pretty
fucking
good.
That's a top 10 hitter in the
Zero
league.
complaints.
Pretty good, kid.
Insane.
Remember at the beginning of the season when we were all talking about how it was Rafi's MVP year?
Yup.
He's putting up that type of season right now.
Yup.
I know. Right now, he has like the misfortune of playing in the same American league as like Mike
Mike
Trout.
Trout. Aaron Judge, yeah. He's
Oh
been
my
on the
God,
tear.
Judge is having an insane year. That fucking
Test him.
dollar amount keeps going up. It keeps going up and up and up. Gotta say, I can't wait to see Aaron Judge as a member of the Boston Red Sox. He's gonna be a staple in our right field. It's gonna be hit different.
We know he looks good in a Red Sox shirt.
It's true. We've seen
I
it
don't like
before.
that take. I don't like that take.
Despite Yankee fans, he's gonna win a World Series with us. It's gonna be great.
Oh my God.
The reason I don't like that take is because I have yet to see Aaron Judge play a full season other than his rookie season.
He did last year. He missed 10 games. He played
Only
150.
10, really?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, Aaron Judge quietly over these last few years has been like quelling all of his criticisms, which is like he's actually like been healthy. It's been insane. Let me pull up last year
I'm pulling it up right now.
because I'm pretty sure he only missed like 10 games. Yeah, he played 148 games. He missed what, 14 games?
You liar. You said he
I was off by 4 days. And I'm pretty sure like none of those were like an extended injury. I think those are just like the days off that the Yankees give him. So like, yeah, Aaron Judge played a full season last year and he was like MVP
corrected.
caliber.
I stand corrected, yeah. At 39 bombs last year, that's pretty doable.
Dude, him and Stanton like single-handedly carried the Yankees last year. And that's why they were like so bad, is like they were the only 2 hitters that showed up.
Yeah, and now they have Matt Carpenter hitting bombs.
MVP Matt Carpenter, let's put respect on his name. Like future MVP. He's winning it this year.
And Stanton played 139 games last year, which is remarkable for him.
They were killing the narrative. It's insane.
How the hell did he manage to do that?
Yeah.
Right? And I mean,
not
obviously Judge plays an insane right field or center field, wherever you play him. He's insane athlete. So, in summation, go Sox kid, Aaron Judge, you are a member of the Boston Red Sox.
I still don't
Congratulations. It's
Truthfully,
official.
though, if the Yankees let him go, they're brain dead. Like, if you're the Yankees, no, you can't.
I don't see.
That's
how
the
does
face of your
Yankee Stadium
franchise.
Remain standing after that, would be
Right?
fucking-
Oh, yeah.
It-
the fans would fucking riot. Like, they'd have to.
It's hard to let him go for sure, just like it was hard for Red Sox fans to let go of Mookie Betts. But with a season that he's putting up right now, 19 home runs already, he's
Oh my
on pace for
God.
50 plus. He's
Holy
going to cost.
Fuck off.
He's going to cost $350 million.
What was he asking for? Before the
Aaron
season?
Judge,
Like,
you are a Dodger.
oh my God, I'd kill myself. Oh my God. Dude, I'm pretty sure before the season he was asking for what, like 9 years, $270 million, and the Yankees like, fuck you, we're not paying that. You should have paid him. You should have paid him the 270 because the price is now up. It's like he's like a $350 million player right now.
Easy.
Good job. I mean, frankly, I love it. Laughing at the Yankees as usual.
Oh, I want him to be a Met.
Oh my God.
I
That
like that.
actually-
I like
that
that
is the
more
take.
because then
That
I'll
is
get
the
to see
take.
him play on a team that I like in New York. Ooh, that sounds fun.
If he was gonna leave, he probably would be a Met too. Steve Cohen would throw the entire fucking the entire bank of
That's
whatever
like-
it is in New York at him.
Steve Cohen is like a shit poster already.
He
And like
is.
him picking up Aaron Judge would be just like the biggest like shit post of life.
Well, dude, literally,
I'm
like
for that one.
the money that he spends on the Mets to him is literally like fucking monopoly money.
It
It's
is.
nothing.
He has art more expensive than players.
Yeah, dude, he laughs at like the luxury tax, like the fucking luxury. Are you real?
Like he thinks of it as a game. Like you have to be over that to show that you want to
So you
participate.
care.
He's like, oh wow, I got like to pay an extra $300 million. I fucking wipe my ass with $300 million. That's Steve Cohen.
How are the Mets not like dominating the NL East right now though?
Pretty sure they are.
They literally are. They're like 10 games ahead in their division. Like, I think the Twins are like 10 games behind
Yeah,
them.
because you haven't noticed, like the Mets haven't been like in the papers like they usually are by being dipshits. So, yeah, they're 35 and 17.
But
They're
when
10
the
and a half
Mets are
games
good,
up.
everyone is quiet.
I saw something yesterday that said something about them being 11 games, and I just naturally assumed that it was 11 games back from first place.
No, dude, they've been insane this year.
They're absolutely dominating. And like they're dominating through injuries, like bad ones. Like
they've got a plus
DeGrom
77
is
run
getting
differential.
delayed again. Scherzer's fucking. They're fine.
8-2 in their last 10. Yeah, man, the Mets have been insane.
They have a plus 77 run differential. The Washington Nationals have a minus 76 run differential.
Nice.
That's
Dude,
huge.
It really is. Imagine how fun it is to be the GM of the Mets. Like, genuinely. Like, hey, Steve, I want to get this guy. Like, fucking, like, oh, yeah? It's like, is there a budget? No, just go get him. You think he's going to make the team better? Nah, fuck it, man. Like, where do I sign? Shout out to Brad. Just lurking. What a guy. What an absolute guy.
Oh.
Brad, are you here for the Mets talk?
I think he was. Oh, he wants to show us the sights and sounds, or
Really
I guess sights from the ballpark.
You see that, all right?
Polar Park.
Good shit, man.
He's still not chugging the beer though. It's still pretty full.
Thanks, Brad.
How are you gonna have a beer bat and not chug it?
All right, then.
All right. Good talk, Brad.
Good talk.
It's nice we get some nice rest of the league talk out. Because, like, you know, we don't get to do that too often. I mean, only a 2-game series, so there really wasn't a ton for us to go over.
And not a ton to look forward to.
I'm looking at the NL West right now, and the way that it's laid out on MLB standings is pretty weird. I don't know if I'm just dumb or what, but let's see. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong freaking line. I am dumb, actually. It's the wild card game back. I was like, how are they no games back, but in third place? Talking about the Giants.
And the NL West is a dogfight, unsurprisingly.
It is. It usually is. You know, you've got the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants who are always just kind of fighting it out, and then you've got the Diamondbacks and the Rockies who are just there.
Dude, shout out to the Diamondbacks. Like, they're playing 500 baseball. Like, last year, they were, I'm pretty sure, like, by a wide margin, the worst team in baseball. So that's a pretty significant improvement.
Pretty cool. I love it. Love it. Love the Serpientes.
And then even the Rockies are playing better, but fuck the Rockies. Fucking most pathetic franchise in the game.
Except for Jose
the Diamondbacks
Iglesias.
lasting.
No, probably not. They just don't have the horses to keep up, like in that division. Not even
while we're on our other league talk, also just want to get it out there. Martin Perez,
fuck
Cy
off.
Young favorite.
God damn it! Where was this in fucking Boston? Who is this man?
That's another guy that could get AL Player of the Month, if we're being honest.
I don't want to hear a single like cynical asshole Red Sox fan be like, "Wow, can't believe I'm let this guy go." Yes, you fucking can.
You saw it.
You booed him every time he took the mound last year.
We all were ironically saying, "Oh, Perez Day," and now it's like, "Oh fuck, it's Perez."
Martin Perez was fucking dog shit last year. He was somehow competing like for worst pitcher on the Red Sox when like we had like Matt Andriese on the roster. Like, what are we doing?
The thing about that is like, I think he probably wishes Cy Young voting was like right now, because out of anyone, we know that he's capable of a regression. So I don't want to wish that on him. I'm just saying it's
What are you
fucking
doing?
May or it's June.
are we
It's June
doing?
1st.
It's literally, it makes no
Happy
sense. This
for
is
him.
literally a glitch in the Matrix. He had an ERA of 4.74 last year with the Sox, and 4.50 the year before that, and 5.12 the year before that.
Now he's comfortably sub 2.
This is the first time he's had a year under fucking 4 since 2013.
What happened?
Drug test this man.
His last 7, he has a .73 ERA.
He's been nasty.
Who is this man?
Like he's throwing pitches that I see him on Pitching Ninja now. And it's like, what do you mean Martin Perez is on Pitching Ninja? Like I didn't know he could do any sort of ball movement. Like he can throw off-speed pitches since when?
I'm looking at his Savant page because I'm very curious to see like what's going on here.
Happy for him, but goddamn, dude. Come on.
I mean, yeah, like it's all red, and like the only thing that's blue is like his fastball velocity. Yeah, he had a mediocre fastball, and fastball spin rate and his whip rate are all blue, but everything else is just like peak. Oh, and he also doesn't strike out many dudes. But like all this shit, like he's just getting ridiculously weak contact.
Yeah.
Let's see. His last 3 games, he went 7 scoreless against the Rays.
Oh,
7 innings of 1-run ball against the A's, and
fucking
9
asshole.
9 scoreless against the Astros. But he did give up 8 hits in that complete game shutout.
Horrible.
How dare you give up 8 hits?
Dog shit, Martin.
I could have used this shit last year on the fucking Red Sox in that playoff run down the stretch. Where was this Martin Perez?
Imagine if we had this Martin Perez in the ALCS, we win the World Series.
He was so bad we put him in the bullpen.
We
That's how
literally
bad he
win the World
was.
Series last year.
So what you're saying is that Ranger fans should be thanking Red Sox
Yes, you're welcome.
because they didn't burn out his arm in the playoffs last year. So now he can come out and have such a hot start to his
he
season.
didn't pitch at all.
Unbelievable. Fucking Martin Perez. Unbelievable. Of all the people we let go that were going to burn us, fucking Martin Perez, are we real? We live in a simulation.
I kind of think
this is not real life.
I prefer it over being like seriously burned by like Hunter. I
Yeah,
think.
right.
Because this is kind of just like it's just funny. I'm just like, good for you, dude. You're on the fucking Rangers. Have yourself a year.
Listen, man, if you would have told me before the year, like, oh yeah, Martin Perez is going to be like the Cy Young leader, like,
I wish I took that bet for like $1.
I would have fucking like asked you what kind of hallucinogens you are, and if you are mixing them with other hallucinogens.
Yep.
Holy shit. Good for you, Martin. But also, fuck you.
Wild.
Where was this last year?
Some of his best seasons have been in Texas, though, so it makes sense. He likes playing in Texas, and now they've got that brand new ballpark where it's that nice dome. So
it's so gorgeous.
Big outfield.
You don't have to sweat, your balls off every 5th day.
Dude,
it's not like the old Texas.
Shout out to the Texas Rangers, who in the 90s didn't figure out that Texas is actually hot. It took them like 20 years to be like, hey, it's pretty hot in Texas. We should have a dome. What's up with that? We don't have a dome. That's crazy. Oh, no. A little weird.
Very weird. You guys got anything else you want to add to this here episode before we get out of here? It's almost tip-off time. We could catch a little bit of the pregame.
Let's go.
I'm happy that I'm recovering from, if you followed last episode, I was dying of AIDS. My AIDS seems to have receded. So I'm healing. It's a good deal.
Hogdale and Magic Johnson, 2 men that have overcome the AIDS.
True. I did the South Park method, injecting my entire life savings into my bloodstream, and it worked.
It works. Yeah.
It's true. It's damn true, to quote Kurt Angle. So, yeah, good shit.
Doink, anything
what were
else?
You gonna say?
Take 2 out of 3 from the A's, and I won't be off this fucking wagon.
Sweeper riot.
Sweeper riot.
I'm going 2 out of 3. I think that's that's definitely obtainable. I would like to see them get the first two and then just be able to sail off into the sunset. But we'll see what happens. Of course, we'll all be watching, and we'll be back to update you guys. Oh, when will we be back? Sunday, right, Hogdale? Sunday,
I believe
Monday,
so.
sometime in there.
I check the schedule.
I
We'll
think it's
worry because the Red Sox usually play a very mediocre brand of baseball on road trips. Yes, Sunday. So,
Okay.
bit concerned, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can be at this point.
At least it's Cali. It's like not the best weather, but it's warm. They like warm weather.
It's toasty.
So
And Sox are undefeated in June.
Go
Let's go.
there you go.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pesky Report. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.